Good morning, everyone. Well, you would have seen the picture, not just a picture, but a photograph on the front cover of today's post, that of Maximilian Kolbe. Now, he doesn't look very happy in the picture, and hardly surprising because I'm not sure the details of when it was taken. But Maximilian was a Polish priest who was captured and put into the concentration camp, and perhaps that's when the photograph was taken. And while he was there, there was an escape, or an attempted escape, and the German commandant, in order to make an example of the situation, just called out 10 men who were going to be put to death by starvation. And when one of the men who was next to Maximilian Kolbe, when his name was called, his response was, "Oh, what about my wife and my children?" Oh no. Not so much for him, but for the wife and the children. Maximilian Kolbe's response was to say to the officers, "Let me stay and let me take his place," which amazingly they did let him. And so he went with the other 9. Then that man was left behind. Maximilian Kolbe went with the other 9, and they were starved. Except that they didn't starve immediately. Maximilian Kolbe apparently encouraged the men to pray and to sing. And of course the guards couldn't understand all of that. But ultimately they did all die, with the exception of Maximilian Kolbe, who allegedly was put to death by lethal injection because he simply was living on. And you say, well, you know, a man, or you see his image, looked like a very unhappy man, but that he was able to put into the minds of those who were going to die with him a sense of faith and hope and joy that they were going to meet the Lord. John's Gospel today says, "A man can have no greater love than to lay down his life for his friends." And it's one of the, I'll say few examples, but it's a clear example of a man literally laying down his life for another man. It wasn't just that he died for his faith, but he laid down his life so that another man could live. And when Maximilian Kolbe was canonized, that man who had been saved was there at the canonization with his family. And how wonderful and joyful was that? Let's look at Maximilian Kolbe and say what an example he was. And should we be ever called on to do something like that, will our faith be strong enough? You have a wonderful day and keep yourself safe. We'll see you again. God bless. Bye-bye.